Hey, you think maybe one day I can get a ride in one of them helicopters?
Yeah, sure.
You mean it?
Oh, yeah, anything you say.
I knew it. I knew I made a good choice.
And what?
My best friend.
Stephen A. Smith, when you think about the GOAT of sports, you think about Mike with 6, Brady with 7 rings, but where do you rank a guy like Lightning McQueen with 7 Piston Cups?
You're not a little kid! You're 21!
Hey guys, today we're talking about something a bit different. Today we're going to be looking at sport. Please don't click off. We're talking more accurately about cars. Recently, I was doom scrolling, and I mean like 20 minutes before I press film. And I saw a clip of Stephen A. Smith arguing with a fully grown man over who's the GOAT in the Cars movie. And I saw an opinion I've never seen before, that Lightning McQueen somehow isn't the GOAT. I kind of just wanted to watch it with you and break down some of these points because I feel like they're just categorically wrong. But we'll just get straight into the video. I'm not going to bore you with me speaking. Let's hear a 56-year-old man talk about cars.
Let me get to some calls before I get on out of here for the show today because I like to take my calls. Danny in Wisconsin, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, Danny? Talk to me.
Stephen A. Smith, when you think about the GOAT of sports, you think about Mike with 6, Brady with 7 rings, but where do you rank a guy like Lightning McQueen with 7 Piston Cups?
First of all, just to break down the question, he says Jordan with 6, Brady with 7, McQueen with 7. Like, how does he kind of rank in that? So his question was just kind of, he has the same amount of trophies as the greatest in their respective fields has. Does he kind of get to enter the conversation for his own field?
I would tell you he wouldn't be the GOAT. How are you going to be the GOAT? Because you talk about the movie Cars, right? You talk about the movie Cars, right? I mean, when you talk about Strip the King Weathers and Lightning McQueen, they're both tied with 7 Piston Cups. Strip Weathers, you forgot about him? How can you be the GOAT? You got somebody that's tied with you? You got somebody that's tied with you?
Okay, there's a lot that I want to say on this little section of the clip alone. So I'm going to try and be fast with it all. First of all, the argument that in order to be the best, you have to win the most trophies is really outdated. In fact, it's never really worked. It doesn't make sense. To try and say that the best players have the most titles, it's nothing to do with maybe individual performances or anything else. Doesn't work. Personally, I watch football the most. I watch that the most, okay? And I know about a lot of different players who have won it compared to players who haven't won it. And it's very obvious that the one who haven't won it are better. So who's better to you? Is it the guy who had one lucky night where he managed to win the cup? Or is the other guy who's over their entire career constantly put in higher quality performances than that one person had ever put in? Another point is when he says, how can you be the best if you haven't won the most? That's easy to break down. That doesn't make sense at all. Like I said, we're going to be mainly looking at football here. And in football, the closest thing to a Piston Cup would have to be the Champions League. And in order for his argument to be, the person who wins it the most is the best player of all time, it just doesn't work in football. 18 different players would be the best of all time because 18 different people have got 5 titles. I could read you these names, but I'm not going to list you 18 different names. That's an entire starting 11 and then a bench. Are you going to argue that the best player of all time is on the bench of the greatest of all time? Like, it doesn't make sense. You can't have 18 of the greatest of all time. You can have like a bunch of really good players that are almost there. But is anyone actually arguing that Daniel Carvajal or Nacho Fernandez are as good as people like Cristiano Ronaldo? No. Ronaldo's got the same amount of titles as someone called Lesmes II, who I had to look it up, and I'm not going to slate him because he's dead. And if you take a step down from that, people like Josito and Phil Neal have the same amount as Lionel Messi, okay? Just because you won a large number of titles doesn't make you the best. Okay, and just because you didn't win the most amount of titles doesn't mean you're not the best. It's not a good comparison here.
Sorry, that ain't gonna work. I know you tried to catch me with that. You didn't think I knew that about that. You didn't think I knew about cars, did you?
When you think about,
okay. You slept on a brother. You slept on a brother.
Piston Cups. He's got 28 circuits. He got 28 circuits under his belt too.
Strip Weathers has 7 Piston Cups. I am not about to sit here and argue with a grown-ass man about the movie Cars.
This is him completely ignoring the question again. He brings up more evidence that Strip Weathers is not the GOAT, and he's like, no, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Doesn't want to talk about why. What is the reason? Why can't you talk about it now? Why were you just talking about it for the last, like, 30 seconds that I've turned into a 5-minute video. But why couldn't you talk about it then? Circuits are like the step down from the Piston Cup. He has more than Strip Weathers, but for some reason that's not a valid talking point because it doesn't suit Steven's argument. I don't know. You got to look at it with a whole picture. You can't just be like, oh no, but this one specific thing, they have the same amount.
Come on now,
Strip Weathers has 7 Piston Cups. You should have brought me somebody that didn't have as many Piston Cups.
Old engine cars.
He made a good argument there, but you can't really hear him because he's muffled. His point was that it took Strip Weathers 30 years to win 7 titles in a time when there was old engine cars. They weren't as fast as they currently are. So the competition was easier than what it is currently, and it still took him 30 years to win 7 trophies. Whereas Lightning McQueen came in when cars were at their fastest and won 7 in 9 years. Sure, they have the same amount of trophies, but he won them in a harder time, in a faster time.
Jerry West era. You can't.
Danny, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, this kind of ties in with the last point, where Stephen A. Smith is 56. Danny from Wisconsin is 21, okay? Stephen would have grown up with Strip Weathers being the GOAT. Every 4 or 5 years, he'd win a title, but he'd just keep going and constantly putting in decent performances, okay? It's fair enough to say when he was growing up, Strip Weathers was the GOAT. The same way people who grew up with Maradona and Pele probably still hold the opinion that they are better than everyone else, just because that's what they grew up with, you know? That sense of nostalgia kind of clouds the fact of what's real or not. But people like Danny and I, where we grew up with, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and more importantly, Lightning McQueen, we've seen these people just constantly put in the greatest performances in sporting history in their fields. If Lightning McQueen had a 30-year career, he would have won 21 Piston Cups. But anyway, back to the actual point. Strip Weathers won 7 in 30 years when cars were a lot slower, okay? Lightning McQueen came in, won 7 in 9, and then, you know, and then got this fatal injury where he fucking died. If Lightning McQueen was still racing, he would win another cup. I mean, this whole argument would just, it's stupid.
What about Fast and Furious? You watched that movie?
Yeah, Fast and Furious, good film.
Which one did you like better, 5, 6, or 7? I mean, 8, 9, and 10 are good too, but which one did you like better, 5, 6, or 7? Because I like 5 to 7.
5.
You like 5? That was with Vin Diesel and The Rock going at it when The Rock was trying to hunt him down and all of that other stuff. What I'm saying to you is I think you picked the right one because I liked 5 a lot. I really, really did. My point is if you're going to argue with me about something, how about it not be an animated movie like Cars? How about it be something like Fast and Furious? I would have appreciated the question better.
Cars is as real to little kids as much
You're
as
not a little kid! You're 21! You would have a point if you were 7 years old calling me. You're 21 years old. What are you doing, wearing a diaper? Goodbye, man.
Okay, so that's kind of the end there. All he does is yell and talk about Fast and Furious. But just to like recap, okay, how can you not say Lightning McQueen is the GOAT? Okay, this man is so fast that Usain Bolt took on Lightning McQueen's shirt number when he came to play with the Central Coast Mariners. That's how fast he is. The fastest man looked up to this animated car, which he's making fun of. Oh, you gotta be 7. How about shut up, Steven? That's my direct quote. How about shut up, Steven? Please don't diss Lightning McQueen. But yeah, Lightning McQueen did it in a harder time, in a faster time, and it's just clear. In every regard, it's clear. It's just because they got the same number of trophies, because Strip Weathers played for another 21 years or whatever. It's not even close. I don't know. I'm gonna find some cool car edits to juice up this video's watch time. Enjoy. I'm gonna head off. I'm working on another video. I already filmed the entire thing and now I have to re-record it. So I just thought I would make you this and then I'll have to re-record that video and push it out. Here's a little sneak peek of that one. Up the boys.
His content's like divisive. I don't know. My brother's just spotted me. Anyway, you may think it's like a one-off thing, you know, like, oh, Pokemon November, he'll do it once. And never. Oh my god. Are you in the bathroom? Did you open the window just to listen? Thank you.